Good evening. I was just going to speak about how your life changes when you're gang stalked by neighbors, people you've never met before, and how it changes your life and some things you should do. First of all, don't be silent. Document as much as you can of it. If you can record some of the weirdness that happens to you, do that. Like they'll constantly threaten me just day in and day out. And I don't know. They've gone so far as to try and mess with my disability payments, try to mess with my license. They'll steal your credit card numbers. They'll get as much information from you as they can get. They'll slander you to everybody. They have no qualms against making up lies about you and impersonating you or dead members of your family or family members you know, friends, to anybody they know. From what I mean, they have no problem talking directly to you through their V2K and saying what they're going to do. You want me to screw you over, blah, 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 I'll do this, I'll do that. They may even go so far as to clone your Facebook, and try and impersonate you like this jackass next door to me's doing. He impersonates me and says I'm stalking him, but I don't want nothing to do with them. I don't want nothing to do with any of them. Pretty much cut off all ties with any of them. But they don't appreciate that. That bothers them. You don't want to be what they call friends anymore. In other words, you don't want to be used anymore and screwed over anymore. But living with that, don't be afraid to go to law enforcement. They may not do anything. I don't know my personal experience. I've reported it. And they don't know whether they're doing anything to investigate it or do anything about it. I don't know. I've been to lawyers. I've got proof of them commandeering my brother's Facebook. He's been dead for several years, and I made a memorial Facebook, and I created it with his name. They went so far as to put my birth date on it. They've added friends to it. They're playing some game called Mercenaries at War using it, and I have their phone. I have phone numbers from them. I have text messages from one of them that was saying they know who I am, they know where I am, they know what I'm doing. This is what I'm doing. I'm saying right here, I'm not doing a damn thing, but I'm supposed to be this horrible murderer, rapist, criminal, whatever. This little jerk next door. No, I don't have a problem saying who he is. He's a jackass. He's not the only one in this trailer park. They live right here in this trailer park. But trying to move on with your life. I used to draw on YouTube here a lot. You can look back at my my videos. I used to spend a lot of time on here drawing, and I had the ideas to create comic books. I created something called Dark Matter. That idea got stolen. I created an idea called Paladin. That idea got stolen. I was drawing pictures every day, and I don't do it anymore, but I'm thinking of doing it. I sit here and play my guitar once in a while now. I'd pretty much made myself non-existent on YouTube for almost 2 years while I was in the thick of the harassment and the slander and the threats and the stalking. They'll try to turn your family against you, your friends, whoever's behind the organization. That's not important right now. What is important is you personally. You're important. That you try to live your life as best you can through all this hell that they're trying to make for you. They'll persecute you as evil. They'll using the neural monitoring. They'll invade your dreams. Believe it or not, I mean that sounds crazy as hell, but you'll have some weird dreams, and they're using neural monitoring to do that. This is no joke. You can look it up on the internet. Neural monitoring, V2K, V2 voice to skull technology. Do weapons, directed energy weapons. They're a silent weapon, and basically this is not just going on to a few people. We're talking thousands of people that this organization, syndicate, whatever you want to call them, of stalkers designed to destroy your life, take what they can from you, basically turn you into like a non-person, or what they are intending to do is to make you harm yourself, or they'll try to set you up to commit a crime inadvertently, or they'll assault you. They'll verbally assault you. They'll physically assault you. They'll do all kinds of things. I mean, a neighbor came out one day and said, "Oh, let's finish this," and he had a hatchet in his hand, and I'm like, "Oh, okay. Well, we'll finish it." And I went outside, and he's got a hatchet, and me, the old man I am, I had my cane, and I went out there and confronted this little 30-something jackass with his hatchet. I called the police. They know about that. I've got other police reports, but that's not important. It's not important. What's important is that these people are out to get you for whatever reason. I don't care if you did anything at all. You didn't have to do anything to these people. That's just it. You didn't have to do anything. You might have pissed somebody off. Like, I personally, this started after I pissed somebody off on their channel that basically, stole my comic book idea right in front of my face. And I have no qualms saying that because I said it to them to their face. I'm not going to be drawing comic books anymore. I'm not gonna go along with that crap anymore. That genre of artwork. But I caution you. This is not. If anything, just a government entity, whether it is just a government entity, this is just normal people that either they've recruited. There's a whistleblower. You can look it up. The whistleblower for gang stalking. He was recruited by some company in Seattle, and he whistleblows on what they will do to, they're experimenting. They're experimenting with this technology and using it against everyone. They say it's America, but it's not just America. There's people in other countries that they're doing this to. It's not just us. It's a worldwide epidemic. And the reason it's an epidemic is because it's basically never talked about. And when it is talked about, it's treated like, oh gosh, you gotta be nuts or whatever. You're mental. No, people, you're not mental. If you're being stalked, you're being stalked. You're being harassed. You're being assaulted by these people. It's a verbal assault. It can be physical. It can be mental. The neural monitoring is rape. It's mental rape. They're using. They don't need an implant. There's no need for an implant. The technology is beyond that. They don't need implants. They just it's wireless. It's over the network. They'll hack your computers. They'll hack your television. They'll use every electronic appliance in your home. They'll use your fans. They'll use any electronic appliance in your home that that oscillates. So that's such as refrigerators or anything like a microphone, speakers, anything that's oscillation. You can use it to create verbal output or auditory output, or they will be directly using excuse me. I'm not the first one to talk about this. I'm not going to be the last. And I'm not going to be the last one that they target. So the reason why I'm telling you is because what they're doing is evil. There's my one person. How come you never say anything when you come in here? You always come in here the second I go online. Why don't you ever say anything? You're immediately in here the second I go live. Do you want me to say your name? I know who you are. You want me to say your name? But anyway. Regarding now, should you be able to gather proof? Always try and gather proof. I have recordings of the B2K, the auditory harassment. I posted them on my Facebook. Excuse me. And the one I did post, when I shared it, they had manipulated it. They'd hacked it, and it was saying different things. And then I shared it again, and when I shared it the third time, it had even different things on it that they were saying. Like the first one said, I'm going to kill you, I'm going to murder you, I'm going to rape your wife, blah, 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 all this kind of crazy stuff, just horrible, evil stuff. And there's more than one individual in the background speaking while I'm doing it, while I'm recording it. You can look at my Facebook and find it. It's really hard to listen to. I also have a couple other recordings that I've saved on my laptop here. But I used a waveform program to try and pull them forward to clean them up a little bit so you can hear them, but I haven't bothered to post those anywhere right yet. But these people can be people you've known, that you thought were your friends, that you'd made a friend of, and basically is what they'll do is they will kind of weasel their way into your life through, you know, being nice and gifty and trying to help you or say they're trying to help you. But all that is, that's their way of getting inside to your circle. And they'll try to manipulate you. They'll try to run your relationships. They'll learn as much information as they can from you before they'll even start the assault with, say, the voice to skull weapons or the neural monitoring, the uh, the images. They can implant and remove images directly from your head. It's proven. They've done it. They do it. This is not science fiction. They'll create as many lies about you as you can with half truths. They'll gain as much information from you about you as they can before they'll actually go through the full scale assault. And the end result is that they basically want to kill you or frame you to put you in jail or just to discredit you, plainly discredit. And now, there's a lot of videos on YouTube right now that I've seen from the last couple of years. I've been being stalked and harassed and gang stalked for almost 3 years now. I can tell you exactly when it started, but I'm not going to go ahead and do that. Everybody else that I hate to say it, but there are groups on here on YouTube that are doing it to other people. Not just YouTube though. I'm sure it's not just YouTube, but this is a platform that they're using to do it on. And using the neural monitoring, they can manipulate people you know. They're capable of hypnotizing people with this technology. There's just there's so many facets to it, and it's all derived from a playbook. They all have the same structure of these attacks. If you look at any of the targeted individuals, their stories match in very many aspects of how they're assaulted and how they're harassed and how they're manipulated. They'll play games with you like, oh, we want to kick your ass. We want you to come outside right now. You'll go outside. They say, we're going to meet you. And they're not going to meet you. They're not going to show up. They're cowards. They're not going to meet up. They're not going to meet you. They're not going to come to meet you. It's psychological. It's a psychological warfare tactic designed to make you look like they can control everything you do. They want people to think that they have control of you. That's the objective, is that they want to be able to say that, oh, I made them do this. I made you. I made you. They'll use blinking. They'll talk about blinking as Morse code. They'll bang on walls. If you live in an apartment, or like my neighbor, he'll bang on the walls all the time when he's trying to make a point. Once for yes, twice for no. Yeah. What they hate most of all is when you don't talk to them. But You can't get any information from them if you don't talk to them. You can't find out what type of person you're actually dealing with without getting information from them and picking their brains like they're doing to you. For all intents and purposes, they have either been paid or they haven't been paid. They may have some sort of grudge against you, such as the one, their handler or someone that contacted you is behind it. You may have something they want. You may have something that they want. You may have some sort of talent that they want. And the initial goal might have been to recruit you into the gang stalking organization. And if you refuse them, it will get even worse on you. They'll offer you the world. They'll offer you the world. They'll offer you everything. They'll say, if you join us, we'll give you everything. But if you don't join us, we'll ruin you. Well, in my personal opinion, no, I didn't join them. I'm not going to join them. I'd never join these animals. I would never do anything to help these animals. But what I will do is I will definitely use reverse psychology to learn everything I can about these animals. I know names. I know several of them. Personally, I know their names. I know where they live. I have phone numbers. I'm not using them to stalk them. That's evidence. That's evidence of me being stalked. I don't call them. I don't go looking for them. 9 times out of 10, I'm not saying anything. They talk all day long, 24/7, and I haven't said a single word, but they have actors pretending to be me saying things to whoever they're proliferating their mind games with. And let me tell you, if you're in a chat room with these people, they're stealing your information too. If you're not part of the group, you're gonna have trouble. They're gonna use you. They're gonna try and steal from you. They're gonna try to manipulate you. They will do anything they can. They have no morals. If they can use you for monetary gain, so be it. They're going to use you. Do they have to hurt your pets? Do they have to hurt your family? They do not care. They do not care. They'll ruin you if they can. But all I have to say is live your life. It's hard, and I don't know if they'll ever stop harassing you or stalking you. I don't know if they're ever going to stop harassing me or stalking me. But I'll tell you, with all the threats, all the death threats, all the threats to my family, to my livelihood, to everything that has to do with me, I'm not going to stop fighting. I'm not going to stop being me. And I'm not going to stop trying to get you arrested. That's right. Not going to stop. Not going to stop trying to get you prosecuted. And one more thing about that. If they tell you don't do this, don't do that, do it. Don't not do it. If they say, "Oh, don't you dare go to the bathroom right now," they'll play some stupid stuff like, "Oh, don't take a shower, don't go to the bathroom, don't do this, don't go outside, don't go to the store." Do it. Don't let these assholes keep you from living your life. "Oh, if you go pay your bills, I'm going to kill you," all the time, all the time. I'm like, shut the hell up. Really. I mean, I just. I don't like that. Wah. But if you find yourself losing friends, maybe, because you tell them what's happening to you, right? They turn their backs on you. Well, maybe they just really didn't need to be. When people are hurting and they tell you how and why they're hurting, and you don't show empathy, and you turn your back at them and just apathetically just walk away, you might as well have not even been their friends. You need to listen to them, because when people are being stalked, or when someone's in trouble, you don't turn your back on them because, oh, it's just too hard for you. You have to think about how hard it is for that person that's trying to reach out to you. Because if the situation was reversed, you would hope they would be there for you, wouldn't you? But now you have to consider that should you be in this situation that they're in, that someone like me is in, when they confide in you, and let's say your first reaction is, oh, you're crazy, there's no reason why anybody would come after you like this. Why would these people be after you? That's not critical thinking. Now, you should consider that they wouldn't just tell you this if there wasn't something to it. I mean, if you are their friend and you truly love that person, you're going to want to help them more, even if it's a little bit awkward for you. At least you should. Should you be an empathetic human being, you should want to help that person. I haven't been getting a lot of help, but I'm not asking for any help. I mean, I've tried to get lawyers, and I've tried to get, law enforcement. That's a different kind of help. That's a legal form of help. But when I mean help, I mean emotional support, a caring ear, an understanding, sympathetic, willing to listen type of help. Don't just cast that person aside and say, oh, there's something wrong with them, because there's not something wrong with them. They're being stalked. They're being harassed. They're being threatened on a daily basis. Now, if they tell you they're being gang stalked, this is a 24/7, 365 assault on individuals by a group of people, however many, usually 10 to 15 people that have been charged to focus on this single person or individual. Now, that's not the organization. The organization is a lot more than that. There's money behind them. There's power behind them. Whether it's government, whether it's agencies, I don't know. I'm not gonna speculate on that. All I know is from experience, it is people, and they exhibit behavior of the lack of empathy and emotion anymore. Now, whether they've been manipulated to a certain degree through, I don't know, blackmail, or maybe they've been threatened. Maybe they've been threatened as to be recruited to help the assault of a targeted individual. It's speculation, but you have to use critical thinking. And when you're being gang stalked, like several people on YouTube here are, there's so many videos that I've been sitting back watching and commenting on. These people are in trouble. And the problem I see is that the powers that be, I'm not going to mention any names, I'm just going to give a generalization and say the people that make the rules don't care about you being stalked or harassed. Or there would be laws, there would be investigations, and there would be people going to jail for this, because there are a lot of people doing it. There are a lot of people doing it. And it isn't just a new thing. It's not like this just happened yesterday. It's not like V2K just popped out of the woodwork yesterday. It's not like neural monitoring popped out of the woodwork yesterday, or extreme low frequency weapons just popped out of the freaking woodwork yesterday. I've been being stalked for 3 years by this. Hello? A force of nature. What exactly do you mean by a force of nature? Hello there, by the way. Laser Lord Samuel. Nice to see you. What do you mean by a force of nature? Just in what context do you mean force of nature? Do you mean that this gang stalking, people being targeted, being part of a force of nature? Or no, it's not a natural thing. This is people using technology and terroristic tactics to assault people verbally, physically, mentally. It's not the soul of the wind. This is people using technology. It's not the voice of God. It's not demons. It's not devils. It's people. It's people using technology to assault other people, and lies and harassment. And they found other like-minded individuals to join in their assault against whoever they choose is to be assaulted. Now, as far as a force of nature, I would say karma. Karma is the force of nature that's probably going to catch up to them. The UN, let's just go into some actual instances. The UN has instituted some human rights laws against gang stalking and this type of stuff, but they've proposed them. I don't know if the laws are actually full force now, but I do know that entities such as the FBI, the NSA, local law enforcement don't appear, I'm just going to say, they don't appear to take it seriously, even though it's been going on for years. I would hate to see how many ISC3 reports have been filed with the FBI on regarding this issue that just seem to go unnoticed or unlistened to, or how many actual police reports of, stalking or whatever go unnoticed until either that person disappears or they're dead or their lives are ruined. It's a kind of an after the fact thing. Oh, we won't, we're not going to do anything until they actually kill you or something, But in regard to your comment about force of nature, if you're religious, Hindu, Buddhist, Taoist, Christian, whatever, what have you, you're going to want to pray on this. But in my experience, your prayer isn't going to help you with these people because they don't regard that as as viable. Let's just say that. They have no morals. They have no remorse for what they're doing. They have no cares. They feel like they're untouchable. So why would they care if you were praying against them? Just my opinion. What are you saying here? I'm getting at the bigger picture of entanglement protocols. Entanglement has been proven. What do you mean? Quantum entanglement? Or do you mean as in like the physical bonds of good and evil? What kind of entanglement? Do you mean in the respect of religion? Do you mean in the respect of technology and people, or what? Because I'm just trying to understand what you mean by the entanglement protocol. Do you mean how maybe you have wronged some person and they've sent these powers to get you? What? Yes, quantum. Okay. Meaning of how information is transferred. Yeah. Well, should you know about quantum reality? Now, let's just say that your decisions govern your quantum reality. Your choices govern your quantum reality. If you chose to say you're walking down the street and you decided not to go in to get a cup of coffee today, you might have missed the love of your life. That's what I mean by your quantum reality. Your choices change your quantum reality and the timeline of your life. If you, depending on your choices, you could have been a millionaire or you could just be a pauper through one choice in your life. And you can't get that back. Let's say you could time travel, right? I have a feeling that should time travel be real, you can't go back in time during your lifetime because the same being can't occupy the same space in time at any given moment. And that doesn't mean, oh, well, if I'm over here in Los Angeles and you're in New York and I'm in your other party is in New York, you're still occupying the same space and time. So you're going to figuratively cancel yourself out because you're trying to occupy the same space at the same time. Now, the future, after you're dead, but you don't know when you're going to die, so you can't know how far in the future you'd have to go to be away from yourself. But you do know when you're born, so you can know how far back you'd have to go before, so you could be in a different, a different time, but not be occupying the same space as your physical body. They're energy. Everything is energy. Your body's energy. This computer right here is energy. My spectacles, they're energy. They're atoms of energy moving. They don't look like they're moving. They look solid, but they are moving. But they are just, yeah, I agree with you that they're information. But anyway, back on the subject of living your life and with your timeline. It's all based on your choices. And I myself, regardless of the outcome of my being stalked, I choose to fight them until my last breath. And the more people that I can touch or help to stop this from happening to anyone ever again. I mean, this stuff is just, it's ridiculous that people ever got it in their heads that this was the right thing to do to anyone. I mean, that's insane to me. That's the definition of insanity is, keep trying something over and over expecting a different result. Well, that's part of what they do. They repeat the same things over and over and over, expecting a different result, but they don't ever get a different result. And regardless of how many lies they tell, history bears those out. History bears out the liars. Now, maybe after they're gone, but truth bears out. The truth bears out. Well, Laser Lord Samuel says, I've been caught up in this targeted individual thing for 5 years. It leads me to information science. Well, this being a targeted individual, you are information to these people. They want every bit of information they can glean from you, steal from you, and use against you. Now, like you say, you've been targeted for 5 years. You were probably targeted for 6 years. They probably spent a fair amount of time gleaning information from you before they ever actually assaulted you and started targeting you. Before they ever gave you the first inkling that they were actually stalking you and doing their things to you. Now, should you need some place to talk to or whatever, PAX International is a group that is trying to fight against the covert surveillance and stalkers. I don't know if you've heard of them. I've been looking at their site, but there are other groups out there that are not taking this anymore. Like I said, the UN is literally looking at this, and as I said before, this is an epidemic. This is not a random, random here, random there. It's an epidemic. It's an organized group or groups of people that choose people like you and I to ruin or whatever, for whatever reason. You might not have done anything to them. It might be because of the way you act, it might be your color, it might be that you're an artist, it might be that you just said something to the wrong person and they are part of this organization or whatever you want to call it, syndicate of stalking individuals, because it's not random people. This is an organization. They're organized. They all follow the same pattern. They may have tried to recruit you at a point. They tried to get me to join. I'm not a joiner. I would never join those type of people in any sort of venture. What'd you say? It was my whole life. Just didn't realize it until 5 years. That's what I'm saying. Well, see, they will use media. They will use the media, television programs, uh, while they're harassing you to personalize it to you. They'll use the V2K and voice modulation to change words to sound different to you while you're sitting here, let's say with your wife or whatever, or your family. You're watching the same program they're watching, but they're using the V2K to directly beam a different word that someone said on television to you, or they'll try to make it appear as though you're the focus, that you're the only one, that you're some kind of chosen. Yeah, you're chosen, all right. You're chosen with this group of people that they're attacking. You're singled out with this small group that is assaulting you, but just the thing I'm saying is you're not alone. There are hundreds of other people just like you being assaulted in the exact same fashion. Like I said, they have a manual, they have a playbook, they have steps they take, they have manipulations that they perpetrate against every targeted individual. That's why everybody's story sounds so similar, because they're doing the same thing to you that they're doing to me, to whoever else they're doing it to. And they have certain phrases that they'll use that might pertain to you. Because like I said, they've already gleaned all the information that they want from you. Now they're going to start attacking you with that information to cause you to, to do something one way or the other, to manipulate you, or to maybe even glean more information through your anger, through your emotions. Have you experienced the neural monitoring, may I ask? Well, Laser, do you know what neural monitoring is? Yeah, it's a bitch, isn't it? It's a bitch that none of your thoughts are your own anymore, that some asshole like this guy next door to me, says, oh, I can make him do whatever I want. He can't make me do shit. He can't make me do anything. He just hears me thinking about it, and said, oh, I'm going to have them do this. Because the technology is such that they know the waveform of your theta waves, and they can use your personal whatever, like IP address, to give to anybody else. And it doesn't matter where you are anywhere on the planet, as long as you're in the network, the 3G, 4G, 5G network, satellite network, they can follow you wherever you go. They don't need implants. They don't need GPS. They don't need a telephone. That's just it. This technology that's what it does. And as far as the V2K goes, it's used the same way. It's focused towards you. You're the only one that's going to hear it, because your frequency is what they're beaming on. Exactly. Your encoder output is being relayed and modulated, and they know it, and they pass it around to other people. The problem is that they're getting more people every day to join their evil cause. I caution myself for using the word evil, but I should say their criminal element, through, like I said, through manipulation, what have you, be it blackmailing them, offering them money to stalk you, or for whatever reason. And your family and friends are not immune to this. What is immune to this is you. You're inside. What you are. Are you willing to accept what these people are willing to do to other people? I'm not willing to accept that for any amount of money, through any ulterior motives, blackmail, whatever, slander. You can slander me all the hell you want. I really don't care. I don't have to believe it. And whatever my past may be, that's my past. It's not going to change. It's not going to change who I am today. And I wouldn't want to go back in time. The idea of going back in time to change your past, to change that one thing where you might have met this girl or got this better job, I wouldn't change that, because that would change who I am today. I wouldn't change any instant of my fucked up life. Because that makes me the shiny purple unicorn I am right here. And you say they don't actually know anything. When you listen to them talk, all of the narrative is directly relative, and none of it is abstract. Oh, uh, a lot of it's abstract. A lot of it's just out and out based in utter bullshit lies. I mean, they say I'm a murderer, I'm a rapist, and I'm an evil, horrible, disgusting person, and this and that. Do you hear that a lot? That you're a whore, that you're gay, that you're all this crazy crap. And just don't buy into their bullshit. That's what I'm trying to tell you, because that's what it is. It's bullshit. It's trying to manipulate you to get angry, to cause some sort of emotional response, so they can manipulate you in some fashion. Well, of course, you already probably know that if you've been being stalked or targeted for 5 years. They'll try to paint you as crazy, mental patient, whatever, that you're that you hate everyone. They say I hate everyone all the time. That's their game. Oh, he hates me. He hates me. Yeah, you're right. You're right, stalker. I hate you. I hate you, stalkers. I have no problem admitting that I hate you because you're evil, deceitful, crazy sons of bitches. So whatever. Say I hate you. Tell everyone I hate you. But yeah, it's just you got to live your life regardless of how far they try to push you. Um, and I've been looking into ways to protect yourself from the frequencies, the radiation, and whatever that they're the ELF weapons, the do weapons, the neuromonitoring, the V2K. Um, there is a place called QWave.com that they boast that their scramblers will stop a lot of it. I don't know. I don't have one, but I've been interested in purchasing one. I mean, I can't afford one. I'm on disability. I'm poor. But should I had the money laying around, I'd invest in one just to see. I'd probably start with one of the personal ones that I could hang around my neck. But I honestly, um, I don't really know myself if putting half-inch thick metal around a room you're in is going to stop it. I think that probably would intensify it. I mean, it'd be more like an antenna than anything else, stopping the transmission. And from my experience, when you focus, when you focus on any one thing, that makes it easier for them to use the neural monitoring on you. If anything, trying to keep random thoughts going and not focus in on any one thing when they're trying to focus on you to gain information and to create images in your head through using the neural monitoring devices. What's an information problem? What exactly do you mean is an information problem? I'm not trying to put you on the spot or anything. I'm just, is it, is that pertaining to you feeling that they're getting too much information or what? What do you mean? Above all, with these people, don't be afraid of them. Don't let them make you scared. Don't fear anything that they have to offer you because I, for one, am fearless. That's a pretty bold statement saying you're fearless, but I'm pretty fearless. Oh well, you mean the information that they get from you, they're relaying to someone else? Of course they are. I mean, I have an issue where you might be having the same issue, that they're chatting with more than one person all the time, and they'll relay every bit of information to your handler and whoever else that they feel is in need of it, to gain, whatever leverage they want on you. I mean, they keep threatening me. Oh, we've got you. We're going to get you put in jail for this and that and the other. They ain't got shit. They don't have shit on me. I'm as clean as a whistle. They'll try to say, oh, well, we've got you now. We've got you because you said this. You know what? I don't care what I said to them. I don't care what I've said to them, what they think they know. The reality is if they try to go to court against you with any of this crap, they're going to get slapped with a harassment and slander and invasion of privacy, and the judge is going to say, you know something, you guys are going to jail. That's what they're going to do. How did you gain this information? Oh, you were spying on this person. Oh, I get it. Yeah, you're going to jail. That's what they're going to get. So when they threaten you that they're going to go to the law, they're not going to the law. Well, I don't care if you're drunk. Drink some more, man. Smoke some weed if you want. I don't give a crap. I used to drink quite a bit. I don't drink it all anymore. I used to smoke a lot of weed too. I don't smoke weed anymore really either. I don't do any drugs. I used to do everything when I was young. When I was young, if it was at a party or if I could get my hands on it, I was going to try it. I have no need for that stuff anymore, though. I like having a clear head, especially in this situation. Well, hour and 7 minutes. But should you find yourself doubting yourself, right? Should you be doubting yourself and thinking that maybe they do have something? Don't fall for that. They don't fall for their bull crap when they say, "Oh, we've got you, we got you now, we nailed you." The only thing they have, the only thing that they actually have, is an inflated ego. That's what they have. They want you to feel small. That's what they have. They want you to feel like this. That's their intention. Their intention is to make you feel inadequate. You're not inadequate. You're a shiny butterfly. Remember that. Always remember you're a pretty butterfly, purple unicorn. You're unique. I don't care if you're a boring son of a bitch. You're unique. But something I have noticed is that most of them exhibit, now I've been watching, that most of the individuals in the stalker ego maniacal organization are narcissistic, and they have a need to control you. They have a need to feel better about themselves by making you feel worse about yourself. Let me see what you say. So this is an issue in regards to encoder output. When someone provides an input, you recognize it, then it relays an encoder output. It's voter fraud beyond the world. beyond this world. Speaking of voter fraud, um, the the extent of the manipulation that this organization has exhibited, and the ability to hypnotize people. You heard me right. Hypnotize people. I have no doubt that these groups were involved in orchestrating this insurrection that we just had here in America. I have no doubt in that. Now, albeit through financial manipulation, blackmail manipulation, hypnotic manipulation. Since this is a worldwide epidemic, this is not focused on any given city, any given town, any given country. They're happening in India, it's happening in Japan, it's happening in England, it's happening in Russia, it's happening in China. It's happening everywhere. I've heard talk of it, being part of the New World Order agenda. Maybe it is. That's speculation. I'm not party to that. I'm not party to the information. But if you examine the overall structure of how they're perpetrating their manipulations, they want power. They want control. So it bears to reason that they would try to gain access into political avenues and control local governments, albeit in the shadows or just blatant. I mean, it's getting to the point where they're blatant with this stuff. So it's not like they're trying to hide it anymore, I don't think, because I mean, it's in plain sight. It's all over the internet, and they don't seem to have any problem keeping going doing it. They feel like there's no consequences to their actions, so why would they stop? I mean, you're saying it's in your neighborhood. It's right here in my neighborhood. I'm surrounded by it, and that's a really odd thing that there are so many people that are willing to perpetrate this against any certain individual. They'll single an individual out in your neighborhood and focus their game on that one individual until that individual is ruined, and then they'll choose another person and move on to the next person. That's what I'm saying. It didn't begin with you, and it didn't begin with me, and it's not going to end with us. I mean, they've been running this game for years now. Why would they stop when they're not being reprimanded? I mean, if your kid, let's say your child at home, steals cookies out of the cookie jar, right? Every time you don't reprimand him, he's going to want to steal more cookies. I mean, when people are like, I'm seeing on the internet now more and more, when the people are exhibiting, I hate the word Karen, Karen attitudes, where they just blatantly go off on anybody that they feel entitled to do so, and that they have a right to do that. There's more of them. There's more people exhibiting their just blatantly blasting their racist idiom. I mean, they're not afraid anymore. That's the problem. They're not afraid to be criminals anymore. That's the problem. These people are not afraid to be criminals anymore because they're not being reprimanded. What'd you say? It's a pre-written loop that's been played over and over again. Interactive information. Well, yeah, they're using social media to do it. They're using social media. They're using your television to do it. They're using your cell phones to do it. They're using the network. They're using the network to do it. It's moved way beyond cyber stalking and hacking. It's everywhere now. You don't need a damn computer pretty much to do it. You don't have to have a computer for them to do it to you. You're the computer they're doing it to. Your brain's the processor, your body's the hard drive, and all the information is in you that they want. They're taking it directly from you. So if you had a problem with them stealing all your passwords and hacking your Google accounts and having to get all that back, the only way I've found to keep my Google account safe and my Gmail and all that stuff is to use a random password generator. And I don't even know my passwords. I don't know any of my passwords. And should I have a problem getting into any of that, I'll just, forgot my password and I'll put in another one that I don't know and let Google hold all those passwords. So that way they can't get them from in here with the neural monitoring. Don't even look at it. Cut and paste that shit into your whatever you're going into. Don't ever look at it. They'll get your credit card numbers. They get your credit card numbers that way because they can see what you're seeing with the neural monitoring. This is not science fiction, people. I'm sorry, but it's not science fiction. This is your reality today. It's your reality, just like you just said. This reality is a social media. Yeah. Well, you're the social media now. They can see what you're thinking. They can watch what you're doing. They can hear everything you're thinking using neural monitoring. Google that crap. You don't believe it? Google it. They don't need implants. What Elon Musk is doing with the implants for that he's got in the monkey right now that plays Pong. Well, they're doing that for medical purposes, so that but this is not for medical purposes. This is for manipulation and control of the masses and to hurt people. It's not being used for anything good. None of it. But I will say this, you can protect yourself by not showing fear to them and going about your business. Because the reality is that they can lie to you, they can lie to people about you, they can create scenarios that make you look like an animal or a monster, but only you know the truth and that you're not a monster, that you're not evil, and that regardless of how many times they say, oh, he hates everybody, blah, 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 their stupid rhetoric that they play, like, oh, he's a monster and he's done this and he's done that, or look at him. That's something I like to catch on. They're always saying, "Look at him, look at you, look at you." Yeah, look at me, you frickin' stalker spy. Look at me. You're a criminal, and you're talking crap to me in my home while I'm not doing anything, while you're stalking me and spreading lies about me, slandering me as the targeted individual. So you're the diamond, and they're the coal that's surrounding you. That's what it is. You're the diamond that they just can't stand it. They can't stand it. You're the purple unicorn. Like I said, you're the purple unicorn, and they're the elves. I use that term because ELF, extreme low frequency, they're the elf that's attacking you. You got that? You get that pun? The ELF? But this is the new normal. And if you're being targeted, all I can say is I feel for you. Because they have no intention of stopping. They're not being reprimanded. So why would they? The best you can do is keep trying to do what you do. And people say don't report it. I don't agree with that at all. Report it. Report if you can get it on the news. If you can get it, if you can get it to the Senate to look at it. If you can get anybody to look at it, that's the problem. Getting people to look at it. And be yourself, regardless of how much of an animal they try to make you look like. Be yourself. Be the shiny purple unicorn that you are. ELF is only relevant for subterranean applications. If you don't, oh no, you're the receiver. You're the receiver. You are the receiver. Your brain patterns are the receiver. Your frequency, your personal frequency, has to do with your DNA. Look it up. You're the freaking receiver. Once they've acquired your neural pattern, or your, oh God, I can't remember the word, uh, your biometric frequency that everyone has, that every single individual has their own biometric frequency. That's how they can focus on you. And I'm telling you the truth. You need to Google it. They don't need an antenna. They don't need your computer. They don't need anything. You're the receiver. I'm telling you, they can neural monitor you personally once they get your biometric resonance. I'll okay. I'll show you right here. I'll give you a link. I'll give you a link. Let me look here. Hold on. There we go. I'm looking it up. Sorry. Neural monitoring. It says, among other things, it started to hear the satellite or remote neural monitoring, blah, blah, blah. Wireless near-infrared devices for neural monitoring. Wireless. They don't need a receiver. Once they have your once they have your code, trying to find the one that I was looking at that actually tells you exactly. And this is a government site, not this isn't. This is a government site I'm looking at. It's a the Novasol continuous wave system uses 3 near-infrared wavelengths to compute blood flow and blood oxygenation over targeted areas, and is the fastest CW-FNAR system available. It's COTS Wi-Fi hardware with it. Once they have your neural resonance, they can give it to anyone, and anybody around the world can see you. I might have clicked that off. I didn't click it on the link. No, what's FNORD? What does FNORD stand for? I'm still looking for the actual the part where they don't have to have an implant. Once they've acquired your neural resonance frequency, they can pass it around. But from a phone affect certain brainwave operations in resonance with cell phone transmission frequencies. The increased alpha wave activity was greatest in brain tissue. So they basically map your alpha and your theta waves, and they can use those to monitor your brain, your optic nerves, all of it, your heart, your lung function, your body. They know exactly when you're feeling pain, and they do it all wirelessly over the wonderful Wi-Fi network. I keep clicking off of it. I was going to show you a link, but anyway, I would prefer you Google it yourself and just and look up how how simple it is for them now to just remotely neural monitor anyone. They don't have to have an implant. Okay, well, you say you're not a human. I'm a black box that interacts with information. This human body that I interface with is information. So you're saying you're an AI program? Yeah. Here's to you, AI. Goodbye. Well, I have been talking for quite a while, but I don't see any reason to stop. I'm not doing anything. I was going to play guitar some more, but it's kind of late, and my wife's already in bed. And she went to bed when I first put my camera on the laptop to start streaming. She said, "Oh, I'm going to bed. You're going to start streaming." She doesn't really want anything to do with this. I don't blame her. I'm not supposed to do this either, but I'm 54 years old. I have COPD. It's going to kill me. And these aren't going to make it any better, but I don't care. My cardiopulmonary obstructed pulmonary disorder is not going to get any better. So it doesn't matter. Uh, I don't really know what else to say now after all that. But anyway, as far as the overall scope of why people become targets, it it doesn't necessarily have to be a reason, because they feel that no, I mean, I'm not rich. I'm not rich. I don't have any money. I don't, you know, um, but like you say, it's information, and whether they're doing it to me for my artistic works or my music or some of my ideas that I've had regarding free energy. I don't know. Maybe some of my outspoken political views. I don't know. I don't care what their agenda or their reason behind it is. All I know is that I'm not the only one, and neither are you. And but the problem is we're human beings, and what their agenda is to try and make us look like we're not. And whether it's because they're narcissists or because they're just egomaniacs or I don't know, greedy, whatever. I'm not going to try and speculate on their reasoning or what their agenda or whatever. All I know is that these are human rights violations, and they're privacy invasions of the grandest scale. And from my thinking, our forefathers, right? The people who created America, they regarded your individualism, your right to be you, and basically your autonomy in that, function is inalienable in all respects. Not it's not a privilege, it's a right. And what I gather from their attitudes toward targeted individuals is that they feel like you no longer have the right to be you anymore. And they want to make it like, oh, you're privileged to be here. And since we ordain that you're, a bad person. You're a bad person now. Yeah, right. Because they say so. I'm not quite into that shit. So I'm just kind of rambling now. I mean, I've kind of lost all scope of what I was trying to convey when I first started this stream tonight. But it's almost been an hour and 36 minutes. I believe that, let me see, you said something else. Artificial and intelligence are two words that contradict each other when combined. Kind of like an oxymoronic statement, right? But, like Bruce Lee said, be water. Be water. You can be strong and you can come crashing down, or you can just seep into the cracks. But regardless of your opinion, other people have opinions too. And you have to respect those. You have to. You have to respect that they have opinions. You can't take a person's opinion away from them because it contradicts with yours. And you can't take away someone else's right to live because you hate them or because you have some sort of jealousy, ego, I don't know, whatever, what have you. I have to go back to be the purple unicorn that you are. Let them talk. Let them be obnoxious assholes, for lack of a better term. Because you're not that person that they're trying to, encapsulate you as. So, on that note, I think I'm gonna call this stream over with. It was nice talking to you there, Well Laser. You and your artificial, intelligent black box self. Um, keep being a purple unicorn. You too, buddy. Have a good night. Everyone else, you too. I hope this information that you got makes you feel better about yourself. And never give in to the gang stalkers. That's my final thought. Yeah, never give in to them. Never show fear, and never give up. Have a good night.